It's time for your council recap with Chad Brecklin back. Our council meeting here from June 9th. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing wonderful. We'll jump into it. We started with two proclamations here. A proclamation on LGBTQ in Pride Month, and then a proclamation for Juneteenth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, both of those events, if you will, and recognitions are happening this month. The city has already raised the Pride flag out in front of City Hall, and the Juneteenth flag, I believe, is being raised on the 17th, if I recall correctly, which is also in conjunction with an event at the community center.
You got it. Next one, we had some mayoral appointments.
Yeah, there were two appointments to the Housing Advisory Committee. Both of those people are already members of that committee, so these were reappointments.
Fantastic. And then you had two public hearings as well.
Yeah, there were two public hearings related to minor comprehensive plan amendments related to future land use. Provided the public an opportunity to speak on those particular proposed amendments.
All right, then we move down. We're pointing this out here on the Public Safety and Human Services. Each year, you have kind of what I would call a mass alcohol renewal.
Yep.
It happens one time a year, although there's things along the way, but maybe for folks looking at this, like, what does this all mean?
Yeah, so what this means is that each year, as you mentioned, alcohol licenses that are issued by the city, which are either typically Class A or Class B licenses, depending upon the nature of the business and what the intent for sale is, those renew or run on a term from July 1st to June 30th of each year. So in June, the first meeting, typically all of the renewals that are out there are presented via the consent agenda and ultimately approved through the approval of the consent agenda. If there are any special considerations for an alcohol license or a server's license, those would get pulled out and or come and be introduced separately to the Common Council for further consideration.
All right, so moving on to our commission and committee reports. We start with Plan Commission, ordinance of Plan Commission resolution for adopting and recommending the spring amendments to a comprehensive plan.
Yeah, so this is one of the two items that we had talked about that was related to a public hearing. This is for a proposed change in future land use from business to medium high-density residential on Ski Lane, which is in the Southdale neighborhood in northeast Fitchburg. There's a proposal to develop some workforce ownership housing units in this particular area, and this would be one of a number of steps that this project would have to go through in order to come to fruition. And this was approved.
All right, and then like you said, the second one as well, similar fashion here with the changes of the comprehensive plan or amendments to it.
Yeah, this is at a parcel at the intersection southeast corner of Lacey Road and Fahey Glen. The request is to change this from a portion mixed use and low density residential to medium high density residential. Future land use, there is a developer who is proposing a townhome product there. They have made some modifications to what had originally been proposed in response to some of the feedback that they had received. So what the council ultimately elected to do with this particular item is they referred it back to the Plan Commission for their consideration on the June 16th meeting. And it should come back to the Common Council for action at the Council's June 23rd meeting.
All right, more to come. We move on to Board of Public Works, a resolution approving amendment for subdivision improvements plot at the 8th edition of 9 Springs.
Yeah, this is a standard subdivision improvement agreement with a developer who's, I believe this is related specifically to a road project in the Uptown neighborhood.
All right, we have a resolution authorizing water utility to file simplified rate increase application to the Public Service Commission.
Yeah, so every year the city assesses the financial state of its utilities, including the water utility, and the Public Service Commission, or PSC, allows municipalities to file what's called a simplified rate case, which would allow for 3% or up to a 3% increase in rates during or in between those periods when they do an actual full rate case. So a city has determined that based upon the operating financials of the water utility, that a water utility rate increase is appropriate. So we received Common Council approval last night to go ahead and proceed to file that simplified rate case with the PSC. If it is approved, the new rates would go into effect beginning, I believe, in September of this year. And for example, the average residential customer in the city water utility would see an increase of about $5.68 per year on their bill if this is approved.
All right, we move on to a park commission on updating the parks and swimming pool closing hours.
Yeah, this is
pool, huh?
interesting title for the ordinance, but ultimately this did some clerical cleanup on a few things. It removed reference to central daylight time to avoid confusion, and it also modified language that allows people to pass through the park on a pathway, whereas before that technically was not allowed.
Gotcha.
And this was approved as well.
All right, next resolution was approving the Hastahoche Park rental policy.
Yeah, city staff continues to work with the Common Council on implementing a rental policy for the new Hastahoche Park facility on Traceway Drive. It's my understanding that the Park Commission delayed action on this particular item while they recommend some enhancements. So ultimately, the Common Council postponed this to their July 28th meeting.
All right. We'll keep you up to date on that. Down to Finance Committee, we have a resolution adopting the 2027 annual city budget schedule.
Yeah, so we're still in capital improvement plan budget process right now. The mayor's proposed CIP was just released a couple of weeks ago, I think, or last week actually. And while that wraps up its course here over the next 6 to 7 weeks, we are already starting to plan for the 2027 operating budget. That is people and the things that people need to carry out their jobs on a day-to-day basis. So doesn't include the big ticket items, if you will, snow plows and those sorts of things that are included in the capital plan, but it pretty much includes everything that will allow us to provide the day-to-day services that we do. So we'll look, obviously there'll be a couple of public hearings that'll be available on that as we get into fall, and then ultimately the Common Council will approve or act on the budget at their November 10th meeting.
Yeah, there's budget season all year long for staff, but that's how it works. We move on to resolution for purchase of equipment for police canine squad.
Yeah, the police department recently replaced its canine squad, and this purchase was approved last night to put new equipment in that vehicle.
And then we have, under Public Safety Human Services, we had discussion of a recent police operation response modification. It was discussion only, no action was taken.
Yeah, Chief Morales and several members of his leadership team came and met with the Common Council last night to discuss some of the service modifications that were recently announced by the department. They went through each of the service modifications. I'm not going to go into them for the purposes of this show, if you will, but what I would recommend folks do is to go out to the police department website. There is a section, if you scroll down on the lower left, that says police response changes, if you will, or something along those lines, 2026. That has a nice little FAQ and summary of what the changes are and what that means for our residents. And I will add that one of the contributing factors leading to these service changes is the department's inability to add the staff that it needs to provide all of the services that they had been doing. As we know, there was a referendum in November 2024 that did request, I think, 5 additional police department members, and that did not pass.
All right, and then we go to direct referrals. We got 2 here, amended and reinstated development agreement between the City of Fitchburg and Boma Plaza LLC.
Yeah, the city had negotiated a developer agreement that would provide about $5.6 million in tax increment financing assistance to Ragtag Ventures for a full redevelopment of the Bowman Plaza site on Fish Hatchery Road. For anyone's information, that's the site on the west side of Fish Hatchery Road, just to the north of Post Road, that used to have the Stop and Go convenience store in it and a handful of other businesses, including a laundromat. The proposal here is to do a two-story parking structure with retail of about 10,000 square feet, and then approximately 275 or so residential apartment units with 5 stories of those units above the 2 stories of parking. So what would be called a 5/2. The costs associated with that project due to building code and other structural construction manners has come in higher than had been previously estimated when we previously negotiated this developer agreement. We had our public finance consultants, Ellers, conducting a new pro forma analysis based upon the updated information, which identified that $7 million in tax increment financing support was warranted for this project. It did actually, these additional costs for this project actually do reduce the returns on the project, so it actually made it more, even more dependent upon public financing in order to make this project happen. So this is a very important project for the redevelopment of areas of Fish Hatchery Road, and this will be the tallest building in Fitchburg once complete. And it's anticipated that demolition on the existing building will begin as early as next month.
All right, and our final resolution here is resolution authorizing year-round flying of the Progress Pride flag and flag of Ho-Chunk Nation at City Hall campus.
Yeah, Alders Maldonado and Reichstad introduced this resolution that would have the city fly the Progress Pride flag and the Ho-Chunk Nation flag year-round at City Hall campus. After some debate and discussion by the Common Council, they ultimately approved this.
All right, our next Common Council meeting will be on June 23rd. Next Committee of the Whole meeting on June 24th. Thank you so much, Chad.
You're welcome.